Why slowing down increases productivity. Let me just get this settled. There we go. There we go. Sunday night. Sunday is a day of review for me. Looking back over the last week, what happened, what worked, what didn't work. And this week I got to celebrate something pretty cool. It has been a while for an achievement. And that achievement is to take out 4 major items each day, Monday to Friday. And you get a bonus point when all of those line up to achieve a larger door for the week, a larger domino, the main thing, the purpose of the week. If that goes down, then that is another point. This is based on the Wake Up Warrior system, the Warrior's Way. And it's been a while. Like, it's literally, for some months, I was stuck around the 10 to 12 per week. And then since January, what I noticed was a stepping up around 17, 18, 19 out of 21. And then this last week, 21. And what I learnt from this is that I looked at what's happened. In yesterday's episode, we discussed the creation, the planning, and the deployment, and then the review. That this overall system of creation was one way of getting things done. Now, this is not how I used to do things. How I used to do things was try and cram them all into one week, which invariably led to one thing. Do you know what it was? You probably do. Do you know what it is? Yeah, failure. Yeah, I just didn't get the stuff done. So then I would reset for the week after, and again it didn't work, and again it didn't work. And what would happen was this: I would actually end up kind of shooting myself in the foot, depleting my confidence in myself because I just wasn't getting the stuff done. But looking back over the last 3 weeks and seeing that particularly the creation of the content, then the planning of the deployment, then the execution of the deployment worked so well. It really did. It just, I didn't, at the beginning of week 1, I thought I could do the whole thing. But each of those weeks really represented a significant movement forward in the entire project. And experienced project managers will probably say, well, dude, of course, that was actually 3 weeks work and you were kind of insane to think that you could be doing it in 1 week. But I want to use this modality again. And so I've just been through my review. I'm stoked with my 21. And instead of setting a 3 weeks in 1 week kind of target, I'm slowing it down. I'm actually saying, you know what? What about if I just got the creation done this week, the content created this week? And if at the end of next week, I'm sitting here with that content created, so the Google Docs are built, but none of it is deployed, none of it is live, but all of the content is created and edited, then what would that open up for next week? Well, next week then, I could begin the deployment of the planning of the deployment. So, okay, what tools is it going to go? What back-end pages do we need? How does the software all fit together? What do we need to make this whole thing work? And then the third week, if that was done, then that's the actual execution. So next week would include things like building out all of the slides, beginning to practice the presentations if I'm doing a webinar or a video. And then the week after would be the actual deployment. This idea of slowing down somehow has a power to it. That there is a confidence, almost like if I had to ascend up to a higher floor, there's stairs at regular events. Instead of having to do some kind of magic parkour move where I'm jumping up. And if you've been on Facebook and seen those guys, I mean, they're incredible. They're incredible. It's like, wow, how did you do that? Just these giant jumps. But If I'm not going to go for an elite parkour experience, it's much easier just to walk up the steps. And what it does is it decreases the pressure in terms of actually focusing on what must be done this week. I'm not worried about the deployment. I'm not worried about building the plans for that deployment. All I'm worried about this week is building the content. And in that, if I get to next Sunday, then there is a foundation of power that has been built. There's a confidence that begins to arise. And this is very curious because the overall experience of setting too much work in one week and then failing and then setting it again and failing and then setting it again and failing and then finally completing it. The time frame is 1 week longer, but also it feels like it is an exercise in failure versus by slowing it down and just getting the week's work done. That is an exercise in success, in confidence, and then carrying that confidence into the planning and then carrying the planned into the execution. And this is done with a different energy, a different feeling. I'm showing up in a different way because I'm not beating myself up for having set a way too difficult goal and then failing. Instead, there is just a consistent execution of the work required for that week. So my invitation to you is to have a look and see whether you have actually done this, whether you've actually set massive targets for yourself, underestimating how much work there actually is, which has led to you beating yourself up. And then the invitation is, well, hey, what would need to be in place if you were going to consistently deploy, if you could trust yourself to actually do the work each week? And instead of doubting yourself about whether you'd be able to do that, just trusting yourself, well, what would each of those weeks look like so that you could build a foundation of power and confidence to actually execute and achieve your targets, but achieve them in a way that built your confidence, built your power, built your trust in yourself, and you ended up feeling really good about your work. All right, that's all I got for you tonight. I'm going to go to bed. I got an early morning in the morning. I look forward, though, to seeing you in the morning as we continue this journey into the power of systems, create results. See you then.